Now, for what is one of the world's most famous buildings, perhaps this year has been its annus horribilis. First came the theft of millions of euros worth of French royal jewellery, then came the shutting of a gallery due to an unsafe ceiling, and a series of antiques books have been damaged in a water leak, and now a strike of its workers as the Louvre Museum is likely to shut its doors at least for today, all leading perhaps to an inevitable conclusion that the Louvre in Paris is perhaps needs a little bit of attention. But is that a fair impression? Well, as the year draws to an end, I'm joined by writer and former Paris bureau chief for the New York Times, author of the book Adventures in the Louvre, How to Fall in Love with the World's Greatest Museum, Elaine Sciolino. Thanks very much for joining us on the programme today. How to Fall in Love with the Louvre is your book. It's a little difficult, perhaps, to do that at the moment with the number of problems that there have been.
Oh, I still think it's possible to fall in love with the Louvre. The the Louvre is a difficult lover, and it's not an easy museum to manage. You know, I'm a former war correspondent, and I believe that you go in armed for battle when you go to the Louvre, and you realize that it's not necessarily fun, but it's rewarding. It's like a difficult love affair.
What is so beautiful about it for you?
You know, we think about the Louvre and we think about trying to go see the Mona Lisa and maybe some of the other big superstars of the Louvre, the big sculptures, the Greek collection. But the Louvre is a universe. It's more than a village. It's a world into its own. If you want to discover ancient Persia, you go to the Louvre. You don't have to go to Persepolis. If you want to go see the most beautiful French paintings on the third floor of the Richelieu wing, where no one goes, and you own these paintings because you're alone with them, you go there. So I say, you know, you have to choose your identity when you go. Are you a marathoner and do you have to see everything? Or are you a sprinter and wanted to see a few things? Or are you what we call a flaneur, where you let yourself wander and discover beauty and surprises?
A lot of criticism that some of these issues that have come up over the last few months could well have been avoided. Perhaps investment in the Louvre not where it should be?
The problems of the Louvre go back a generation. This isn't something new that happened with the heist of $100 million worth of jewels. For at least 20 years, there have been problems in the Louvre with overcrowding, with leaks from all sorts of different pipes that don't work throughout the whole place. Security has been one of the main problems and one of the main faults of the Louvre, but these issues go back years and years.
Is enough being done, though? I mean, weren't there plans for a new entrance announced back in February, a new gallery for the Mona Lisa? Does that show, do you think, that the effort is still there on part of the French state to get it updated?
The French state is trying to get it right. And this plan to create a whole new entry for the Louvre with a special space for the Mona Lisa, that's great, but it's going to cost $1 billion and it's going to take at least 6 years. And the Louvre needs help now. And I would argue that there have to be emergency measures now to make going to the Louvre a more pleasurable experience for your viewers and for museum goers around the world.
What would you say to those goers, those people who may be coming to Paris soon? They've probably heard that the Louvre at least is going to be shut for today. We don't know how long that strike will go on, but it's going to be difficult for them, isn't it? If nothing is done because of the strikes, if work is then to be carried out, that makes it difficult for visitors in a different way.
100%. I mean, the Louvre has always been a difficult place. I always tell visitors to the Louvre, never go to the Louvre on an empty stomach or with a full bladder, because there's nothing good to eat in the Louvre and you're going to have a hard time finding a toilet. You know, the Louvre is a world with 25 different levels. It was created as a fortress and then became a palace and only became a museum during the French Revolution. So that you've got to really be eager and motivated to go to the Louvre. And there are a lot of secrets and ways to get into the Louvre, and we can discuss that if your viewers have time.
Yeah, there certainly are. I mean, it is an incredible place. It's such a maze, and it's great to hear some positivity about the Louvre as well after the difficulties of the last few weeks and months. Thanks very much for being with us on the programme today. Elaine Sciolino, the book is called Adventures in the Louvre, How to Fall in Love with the World's Greatest Museum. She obviously has, and I'm sure you will if you come to Paris and do a visit as well.